Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to Leisure Bit. And today we're at Cote Ghyll campsite, which is near Osmotherley in North Yorkshire. And we went fish and chips in Osmotherley last night from the fish and chip shop, which were very nice.
Beautiful. And we took Roxy around Cod Beck Reservoir this morning. Stunning.
Very nice indeed. Lovely morning for it. And then we went to Northallerton for a quick look around, and we got some breakfast.
At Parklands.
Yes, Parklands Cafe, which is just outside of Northallerton on the Yafforth Road. And we're having tea at the Queen Catherine in Osmotherley.
Oh, and you went to Mount Grace Priory as well.
Yes, that's right. Let's not forget that one. Anyway, let's take a look. So, let's start with Cote Ghyll campsite. So, we've been here before.
It was about 10 years ago, probably just over. It was one of our all-time favourite sites. So, if I'm honest, I was a little bit nervous and apprehensive about coming back to make sure that it lived up to its expectations.
So, one thing to note, Rachel came in the car and I came in the van because we thought we'd have a little potter about in the car with it not being too far away from home. And one thing to note on the way in is wait till you get your pitch allocated. I pulled up, the barrier opened while Rachel was checking us in with Roxy, and I went and found myself a pitch. Anyway, it turns out they allocate pitches, so I was in trouble off Rachel. Anyway, we found the pitch we were allocated on is quite nice. It's got the beck running alongside us, which actually comes down from the reservoir, which we'll look at later in the video. So, without further ado, let's take a look. So we were heading from the north towards Osmotherley direction, which was southbound on the A19, but you take the same principal turn off if you are heading from the south. So you turn off at the Osmotherley turn off, and then you head on the slip road here, and then you take a left up towards Osmotherley. So we're now entering the village of Osmotherley. It's quite well parked up normally. You can see the church just there over to the right hand side, and we're just heading through into the centre of the village at the moment. You'll notice the Queen Catherine pub on the right hand side, and then you will also notice that there is another pub, the Golden Lion, on the left hand side. And as we head up the hill, you'll notice as well, again on the left hand side as we go past, as we just head up here, there is a little shop as well, a little village shop, which we are just going past now. It's called the Village Store, which sells your regular essentials and a few bits of baked goods. This is the road now which heads up towards Cote Ghyll and also up towards Cod Beck Reservoir. It can get a little busy at times, just need to be a little bit patient. So then we take the right hand turn here now down towards the campsite, and we just head down here. There's about a car and a half width, or a van and a half width, so there's not too many passing places, but you can see fairly well if something's coming. And then we turn right here into the campsite, which takes us to Cote Ghyll. So as you go into the entrance, you can see the shop and reception in front of you. You can just see the outside of it there, and here's a quick look in the shop, and there's the reception desk and a few more shots around the shop just to give you a view of that. We got a nice pitch just beside Cod Beck which runs through the site. We'll just take a quick look around the site now. There's a motorhome service point just at the top of the hill, just past reception. The site's laid out in terraces. You can see us just parked a third one along there, and at different levels, and it's laid out across the valley essentially, with some pitches fairly high up. I think they're mainly seasonal pitches. Here's a shot of Cod Beck that's in this case just running behind where we've got the van pitched. Let's take a look at the other side of the beck now. Similar layout in terraces. This is quite new, and last time we were here this was only just being developed, so it's interesting to see it now when it's been established for a little while. There's various places around the site where you can take on drinking water, and here's one of the facilities blocks on the site. We'll take a little bit of a look in that later. And as you can see, some more pitches very cleverly landscaped in. There's an old foam box just next to the refuse and waste and recycling point. So there's another view of one of the facilities blocks with ladies and gents toilet. Let's take a quick look at the facilities in the other toilet block as well. Just gives you a quick look around there. Just the usual refinements, and all very clean and tidy, as you would expect. The pitch we were on had a 10 amp electrical hookup available for connection, and there was a connection to each pitch. So we'll finish our quick look around with a quick view from up on the road out.
So this morning it was a beautiful morning, and we decided to take Roxy for a walk around Cod Beck Reservoir. It was absolutely stunning. It was beautiful.
And yeah, lovely morning, little bit of frost, nice and calm. You can walk from the campsite. There's a little path, you just go past the mill, you head up, and then you go through the woods a little bit, and then it takes you out at the reservoir. Probably 10-15 minute walk, I would say, from the pitch to the reservoir. And not a bad walk, although it was a little bit wet up the hill, but the rest of it was fine. But it has been raining quite heavily in the week before we arrived. You can park at Cod Beck, but it does get busy later on, and if you've got a large vehicle, there are some spaces that are suitable, but you'd probably want to be there fairly early to secure one of those spaces. And don't park on the roadside for two reasons. One, you'd get a ticket. Secondly, is it's quite soft verges, and I think a lot of people have got stuck at the time, so use the car parks if you're going to drive up there. But again, you can walk from the campsite. Anyway, let's have a look at the walk around Cod Beck Reservoir.
As you leave the site and turn to the right, you head over a little bridge, and there's a little waterfall just to the right of that bridge that you can see here. It's also illuminated on a night as well. Just past the waterfall there's a boot/dog/bike wash, and you head up this way to head towards Cod Beck Reservoir.
Just come to a crossroads on the walk, and you can see Reservoir, the direction Roxy's heading, Cote Ghyll, which is where we've come from back that way, and Moscow, 2009 miles. I think we'll give that one a miss at the moment, don't you? So let's crack on to the reservoir. So we've come out of the woods. We're now just going to make a left-hand turn and head towards the reservoir. You can see there's a few trees down there due to the recent wind as we look across. Now arrived at Cod Beck Reservoir.
So here we are, Cod Beck Reservoir, looking up from the dam end of it. So at the end of the reservoir, the opposite end to where the dam is, there's a couple of places to park. There's a smaller car park that's just coming into view here. You'd probably struggle with a van in there, but there's a bit more room in this car park, which is just a couple of 100 yards down the road, but you need to be there early as it does fill up quickly.
Take a final look around there before we head back down the other side.
So after our walk around the reservoir, we decided to go in search of breakfast. We found a lovely little cafe. It was listed as 5-star. It's on the Yaffleth Road, just outside of Northallerton, on a little campsite called Parklands. Absolutely gorgeous breakfast, and everyone was so friendly.
And I'll give you a quick look at that campsite, not a detailed look, but just to give you a bit of an idea. Probably great if you like fishing, because there seems to be quite a few people going fishing there. Later in the season, the mill here serves breakfasts and lunches and that sort of thing, and takeaways on an evening or eat-ins, but that was actually closed at the moment, hence why we went off site for the food. So I'll give you a quick look at that now.
So here's the reception building at the Parklands campsite, and you can see the road which head down there towards the cafe. If you just pop into the cafe, you can see some of the touring pictures there, background to the reception and the way in. And let's just take another look across those pictures. There's a few pictures, it seems to go fairly deep down there. Here is the cafe, and there's a little car park down here where you can park your car. And we went in and got some breakfast, very pleasant and very tasty. There we go, there's a quick shot of the breakfast. And there's a little fishing lake at the bottom here, which was actually really pretty in the sunlight on the morning. So that's where we had a quick look around that, which is just next to where we parked the car to go and eat in the cafe.
So after breakfast we decided to go and have a little look around Northallerton. It's a gorgeous little town, lots of little shops, quite a lot of your standard shops that you get in towns, but quite a lot of independents as well. So we'll just have a quick look around there now.
So you have a quick look around Northallerton. You can see we just parked along that way. There is a parking charge after 30 minutes, but it was 30 minutes free according to the parking meter. And this just gives you a quick view of the high street. You can see Barker's there, which is well worth a look in. Lots of different shops and features on the high street. You can walk a fair way down, and you can spot there Betty's cafe and tea rooms. It's definitely worth a visit. And back round now to Barker's and heading back down the high street. There's a nice selection of local and independent shops as well to have a look around. I always think Northallerton has a really good selection of shops. Nice little toy shop there, I'll go past. And there's a quick look at some of the areas where you can park down there. Again, just a reminder, I think it's 30 minutes free, and then there's charges after that. Various pubs and restaurants as well, so plenty of places to eat. And there's a quick look at the church, concluding our very quick tour of Northallerton.
After our trip around Northallerton, we came back, had a quick cup of coffee and got settled for a while, and then David decided to go and have a quick look around Mount Grace Priory, which is about 10 minutes drive from here.
10-15 minutes, yes.
Yep.
Worth noting, if you've got a large motorhome, it will be a bit tight for parking there, but if you've got 6.5, you probably get away with a 7 at the back. You should be alright parking, but I'll park towards the back of the car park near the entrance exit.
English Heritage.
It's English Heritage, yes, so it's £3 to park if you're not in English Heritage. The reason I went on my own, we'd normally go together, but unfortunately they don't allow anything but assistance dogs. in Mount Grace Priory, so it's not one of those for the dogs, and they do say not to leave dogs in your vehicle if you go for a look around there. So let's take a quick look at that now.
So Mount Grace Priory car park here we're just looking across, so it gives you a bit of a view of kind of getting into that, getting access. Parking's £3, free if you're a member, and let's take a look on the way into the Priory. Before you go over the little bridge here, there is a cafe which you can get drinks and cakes and snacks, and this is the way into the Priory there, just through the door in the middle. And let's just take a quick look across the gardens before we head into the Priory back down towards the car park. Just a few shots here of what you can actually find within the Priory inside. So just give you a little quick teaser look around there. And I don't believe you have to pay admission if you're just going into the gardens, so it's if you want to go into the house. But again, if you're a member of the National Trust or English Heritage, I believe both of them, you can get into the house for free. You do have to pay for parking if you're in a National Trust. It's just English Heritage members that are free. Let's take a look around the grounds as well now. There is a shop on site that sells various souvenir and gardening things as well. And we'll just take a look around the garden now and head down towards the summer house.
Phew, what a weekend we've had. So our final visit of the weekend was to the Queen Catherine pub in Osmotherley. So let's take a quick look in there.
So the Queen Catherine's one of two pubs in Osmotherley, and it's just in the centre, which you can see straight ahead. Here's a quick look around the centre, and you can see the Queen Catherine just coming into view there. Here's a look inside, and they're very dog friendly, and we enjoyed a lovely meal. Rachel had lasagna and I had the burger along with a pint. So very nice indeed.
So I hope you enjoyed the look around the campsite, Cod Beck Reservoir, quick look at Northallerton, quick place for breakfast, a look at Osmotherley, and a look at Mount Grace Priory. So now it's time to see, has it met the expectations given we've been here before? So Rachel, do you want to kick us off?
I would say on the whole, yes. They've done a lot of work to the site since we were last here. There's a beautiful, as you'll have seen, new reception and shop area that wasn't here when we were last here. I think on whole the site has been extended quite a bit, and I think in the summer months when the kids were off school, I think it would probably get very, very busy. So my personal preference is probably to come out of school holiday time when it's a little bit more peaceful and quiet. But yeah, it's still one of my favourites that I've been to. There's so much on the doorstep to see and do in the North Yorkshire moors. So yeah, I like it. Met expectations. I don't think I found that 5 yet, if I'm honest with you. I think probably a good solid 4 to 4.5 from me. But I'm harsh. What about you?
Yeah, so I think it's certainly remembered some of it. It's definitely been extended. I think there's been quite a lot of work put into it as well. A lot more pitches there seems to be, from what I recall, but it's been a good while since it's been here. It's nice in the valley. There are a couple of drawbacks to that. So TV reception was a bit iffy, and we're probably as low down on the pitch we're on as you could be, and I imagine it's better if you go higher up, but we did manage to get a few of the BBC channels, but that was about it. You got a little bit of glitching. I think obviously with the Billsdale mast fire, it's a smaller mast as well, so when that's restored to its full size, I imagine that would improve things. But I think if you're on the higher pitches, you'd be alright if you want to watch the telly. Mobile reception as well was better as you went up higher, as you would expect. In the van I found that on the phone you were typically getting no signal. If you waved around a bit you could get a bit of signal, but the actual kind of motorhome Wi-Fi solution that I've put in came into its own, because it actually meant it worked. But one thing I actually noticed, I'd ordered a couple of bits and paid me a credit card bill, and it sends you a text message to actually authorise now. No signal on the mobile, but data through the motorhome Wi-Fi solution. So that caused a bit of a problem, because I think the bank thinks I was up to no good, because it kept declining me contactless payments this morning after doing that. So it obviously thinks something's amiss as a result of that. So I'll have to give them a call. But from a kind of mobile and TV coverage, okay. There's definitely some coverage there, but I certainly wouldn't rely on it. But we did manage to stream through with the roof antenna on the van, which was good. So that's come into its own already. So I would agree it's 4 to 4.5. Put a heck of a lot of work in. The road up from Osmotherley to here can be a bit congested, so just be patient as well when you're coming up there. But if everyone's sensible, it's not an issue. And the track down to the site is probably a vehicle and a half wide, so there's a couple of logical passing points there. So again, just be sensible, but nothing to overly worry about. Just applies common sense, especially in the middle of summer when it gets busy, because it's a very popular area for walkers, cyclists, bikers, that sort of thing. So yeah, good site.
Do you know what I have found out as well? That actually Roxy has grown up, and we've got the back doors open, and what you can't see just off camera, she's just asleep on the side here, and she hasn't bolted to go out there. So well pleased with that as well.
Cool. So that's it. That's us done for this one, and we will catch you on the next one. Hope you found that useful, and it gives you a little bit of an idea of what the site's like if you fancy visiting it. Catch you next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye.